The Department of Ecology Water Resources Program is happy to provide this video to help WRIA adjudication participants fill out their court claim forms online. If you are preparing to file a claim in the WRIA water adjudication, it is best to file online. If you are a water user without a lawyer, you should know about the online Guide and File website. Guide and File is the official online filing tool used by the Whatcom County Superior Court. It makes it easy for you to enter your information and file with the court. This video will show you how to use the Guide and File website and file your court claim form. If you are a lawyer or are filing for a government water user, you will not use Guide and File. Go to the court clerk's website for your e-filing upload option. We recommend using Chrome, Edge, or Firefox to access Guide and File. Safari is not recommended. We're going to demonstrate using Microsoft Edge on a computer. You may also access Guide and File by phone. Type in the link at the bottom of this screen to access it. This is the homepage for Guide and File. Completing a Guide and File adjudication court claim form takes at least 30 minutes. If your water use involves multiple parcels or documents, or you need to retrieve different information, it could take over 2 hours. You can save your progress and return to it later by creating an account. To return to this page at any time, use the dark blue bar and click on OGF Home or Home. At the bottom of the page are links for Guide and File FAQs and technical support. These link to web pages about the Odyssey system and do not have information about the adjudication. Do not use these for adjudication information. Instead, go to the Department of Ecology's Nooksack Adjudication website or contact our office for more information. This information is linked in the comments of this video. At the top left is a 3-line menu icon or hamburger icon. Once you make an account, this will link to your profile. We recommend that you make an account to use the Guide and File using an email address and a password. Making an account will allow you to file online. You need an email address to make an account. If you don't have an email address, help is available. Make an account now so you can save your information as you go. To do this, click on My Interviews. Then click on Register. Enter your first name, last name, and email address. Enter your email again to confirm it. Choose a password that you can remember or write it down. This can be any password that you like. And then enter the same password again where it says Confirm Password to be sure you've got it right. You need to add a street address, city, state, and zip. Then enter a password question and answer. You must review and accept the terms and conditions and then click on the box that says I have reviewed and accept the terms and conditions. Once this is done, click on Register. You can edit your name, address, or email later by clicking on the 3-line menu or hamburger icon. Click on My Interviews. If this is your first time completing a court claim form, this screen will be blank. If you have made an account and started a court claim form already, you can select it here. You can start a new court claim form by clicking on Start a Filing above. Now let's look at how to file an adjudication claim form. If you received a paper form by mail, you may want to use that to jot down answers or follow along. The form and instructions on paper are identical to the Guide and File website. To start a filing from the home screen, click on where it says Start Your Legal Process. Or at any time, click on Start a Filing at the top blue bar. Remember, an interview is the question session you use to complete a court claim form. If you want to go back to previous interviews later, you can use the My Interviews link at the top. For now, let's start a new interview. To do this, click on Water Adjudication Nooksack Court Claim Form. Now you are looking at the Court Claim Form homepage for the WRIA adjudication. This will walk you through questions. To file your court claim form, answer the questions as they appear on each page. Sometimes more questions will appear depending on your answers. The bar at the right has additional information about the form. This links to our instructions, web page, phone number, and email. You can contact us at any time for help. If this is your first time filling out a court claim form, read the instructions on this page. The court claim form has 4 parts. Part A is for your name and information. Part B is for you to fill out if you have a home on a well. Part C is for you to fill out if you use your water for something else. Part D is where you will sign the form after you are finished. You can click here to read general instructions or click on the right side box at any time. As you go through the form, you can use the bottom bar to navigate. Click on the drop-down menu to go to the page. Use the previous to go back, and then next to advance. After you have read this page, click on Next. This page gives you more information about creating a Guide and File account. You will see this screen even if you already made an account and logged in. Read the instructions here and decide whether you will create an account. We strongly recommend creating an account. If you do not make an account, you will create a form to download and print to deliver to the court clerk. If you make an account, you can leave this page and come back. But if you don't make an account, you will need to fill out a court claim form in its entirety in one sitting. Select your choice here, then click Next. This page has general instructions about parts A, B, C, and D. You can also find links to help and translation information here. After you read this, click Next. This page describes who needs to file a court claim form. If you are not sure whether you need to file, read this carefully. The adjudication affects water users within WRIA 1. This is a map of WRIA 1. If you're not sure whether you own property in WRIA 1, click on the WRIA 1 map finder. If you use water only as a customer of a water system, you do not need to file. If you rent a property, you do not need to fill out the form, only the owner of the property does. You can read more about parts B and C of the claim form here. After you read this information, click Next. This page has information about signing and filing the form. You will need this information when you finish the questions about your water use. Read this carefully. After you read this information, click Next. If you know whether to fill out parts B or C, click on Yes and select your choice. Then click on Next to go to the next screen. If you do not know whether to fill out part B or C, this will walk you through some questions. You can click on the blue circle with the little eye in it for more information. If you use water for permit-exempt domestic purposes and limited outdoor use, check Yes. This means you have a home on a well with no water right document. If this claim is for a single home, check Yes. If you operate a group system, you will want to select No. Here we are completing this form for a single home. If you want to claim your home uses more water, click No so you can describe your water use in Part C. Here we are completing this form for a regular single-family home, so we will say Yes. The next question asks about how much water you use in a year. This is a little different than the last question. If you clicked Yes for 500 gallons per day, then your yearly total is probably 0.56 acre-feet per year. If you want more information, you can click on the little blue eye circle for information about estimating your annual water use. If you want to claim that your home uses more water, click No so you can describe your water use in Part C. Here we are completing this form for a regular single-family home, so we're going to select Yes. The next questions are about outdoor watering. Read this question carefully. If you never water outdoors, simply select No. If you do use water outdoors, you need to answer one more question about the size of the area you are watering. Now you can affirm that you use half an acre or less of water. This means the area of outdoor lawn or garden you water during the watering season. If you use more water or water for commercial irrigation like crops to buy and sell, you should click on No so you can use Part C of the form. Now you can see whether you qualified for Part B of the form. Please read this carefully. If you only claim water for your home on a well, click on Part B for small domestic groundwater use. Click on Part C if you're claiming the right to use surface water, water for farming or another purpose, a home that uses more than 500 gallons per day, or water more than a half acre, or if you have a water rate document. Filling out Part C does not change your water rate. It just guides you to a few more questions about your water use. If you have a home plus one other Part C use, you may click on both. You may need to complete multiple interviews to submit multiple claims. If you're going to submit more than one claim, it will be easier for you to create an account and log in rather than submitting a paper copy. After you've made your selection, click Yes. Whether you complete Part B or C or both, you will need to complete Part A first. This is the beginning of Part A. Part A of the form is where you will enter the name or names of the person, people, or businesses who own the property where this water is used. Everyone needs to fill out Part A. To start, look for your adjudication ID. This is a 6-digit number at the front of your packet. This number will help us understand your claim and let us quickly look up your information. This page starts with a space for only one claimant. If you have more than one claimant, complete this section first. After that, you will be able to add more names. For address, enter a mailing address where you receive mail. This might not be the same address as the place you use water. If you have a different address or different addresses, enter your mailing address here. You might be filling out this form for a business, nonprofit, partnership, or other organization. Use the official name of the organization here. You will then add your personal name when you sign the form in Part D. Some web browsers like Chrome and Edge save your name and address on your personal phone or computer. They might autofill the name and address fields for you. If this happens, just double check to make sure that the information is correct. If you are the sole owner of this property, you can stop here. But if you share ownership with anyone else, for example, your husband or wife or a partner, friend, or family member, you will need to add their names too, and they will need to sign separately in Part D. One important note, if you share water with a group, your group should file together using Part C. See where it says, is there an additional claimant to add to this form? If you are the only person who owns the property, click No, and then click Next. If you share ownership with someone else, click on Yes, and then click on Next. Now you can add other claimant names, another person or business. After each name, you can click on Yes and click on Next to add another name. You can add up to 10 claimant names. When you have no more claimants to add, click on No. There are no more names to add. Click on Next. This will bring you to the next screen. If you make a mistake and need to delete names, be sure to double check that you have added the names that you need. Now you are on Part B, Small Domestic Groundwater Use. This page will remind you that Part B is only for homes on wells. If you are claiming water for a farm, city, or larger use, you will need to fill out Part C. Go to Part C following these instructions. As a reminder, the bar at the right has additional information about the form. This links to our instructions, webpage, phone number, and email address. You can contact us at any time for help. Remember, you can use the menu at the bottom to navigate to pages you already completed. You can click on Previous or use the drop-down menu. Do not use the back button on your browser. That could take you out of the guide and file interview, and you might lose your work if you are not logged in. This page asks about past water use at your property. Using water for a home, lawn, and garden is beneficial use. The best way to describe beneficial use of water at your home is the date your home or previous home was built. If you do not know when the home was first built, you can find information about this using outside sources. If this home is in Whatcom County, the county assessor's site will show you the date the house was first built, Follow the instructions here to get more information. If this home is in Skagit County, the county assessor's website will show you the date your house was first built. Follow the instructions here to get more information. The Department of Ecology also has aerial photographs available that show some historic photographs of the area. To find this information, use the link to go to Nooksack Adjudication map. Follow the instructions there to get more information. To enter the date a home was first built, use the drop-down menu here. You need to select a year before you can go to the next page. In some cases, you might know about even earlier use of water before the house was built. If you know, click Yes, water was used earlier, and enter the date. If you don't know, that's okay. It is a rare occurrence. You might also know the date a well was first constructed on this property. If you know, add that information here, but if you don't, that's okay. Next, we're going to discuss domestic use under the groundwater permit exemption. You have answered these questions before in the interview, but it's important to click Yes again. This will record your answer for the court. First, this page asks whether water is used for permit-exempt domestic uses. That means used for a home where someone lives. If you use water for something else other than a home, you can click No on these options to go to Part C. Read these questions carefully. You can use the blue info button for more information. We're going to click Yes for a single home on a well. Now we're going to click on Next. This page asks about your quantity of water use. You have answered this question before in the interview, but it's important to click the correct answers again. This will record your answer for the court. If you need more information about your water use, you can follow the link to the water use calculator here. If you use 500 gallons per day or less indoors at this home, click Yes. If you use more than 500 gallons per day, that's okay too. Just click No here and you will proceed to Part C. The next question asks about your highest historical quantity of indoor water use. The question is a little different, so read it carefully. If you do not know, that is fine. Just check No if you do not have the exact information. If you do know, select Yes, and you will have the option to enter more information. For the next question, answer Yes if you water half an acre or less outdoors. Read the info bubble for more information. If you water half an acre or less outdoors, click Yes. If you water more than half an acre outdoors, that's okay too. Just click No and exit for Part C. The next question asks about your maximum historical amount of lawn and garden watered. If you do not know, that's fine. Just check No if you do not have the exact information. If you do know, select Yes and you will have the option to enter more information. When you're done, click Next. This page asks for information about your well. Many wells were recorded with the Department of Ecology at the time they were drilled. You can learn whether Ecology has a record of your well by clicking on Ecology's Well Report viewer. If you do not have a well report on file with Ecology, that's okay. You do not need a well report for adjudication. If you do have a well report, use it to find the depth of the well in feet and type that into the box. Look on your well report for the well number and also type that into the box. If you do not have any information on this well, leave these blank. This page asks if there is an additional well to add to your claim. If you have more than one well, you will need to name that well. You can use a letter or a number or add what you call the well at home. This form will allow you to add up to 3 total wells. When you have finished adding wells, click No. Most homes only use water from one well. If you only use one well, click on No. When you're done, click Next. This page asks about where your well is located. Read these questions carefully. You need to find the parcel number of the land where your well is located. Click on the info button to see how to find a parcel number. If your well is located on a property with a street address, enter that here. If you have GPS coordinates for your well, enter them here. You can get GPS coordinates from a map or from standing right by your well using a phone. If you have a legal description for the well, enter it here. Click on the blue info bubbles for more information. If you have a very long legal description that you do not want to type in, you can upload a copy of it as a separate document when you get to Part D. Some wells are located on land owned by someone else, like a neighbor or a family member. If your well is owned by someone else, enter their name here. Remember, if you share water with a group, your group should file together using Part C. When you're done, click Next. You will not be able to click Next until you have added a parcel number. If you need to take time to look up your parcel number, it's good to make an account to save your work. When you're done, click Next. This page asks where water is used. This will be the last question in Section B that will ask you about your water use. In most cases, the location where water is used is probably the same as the well location in B5. If your home is on the same land you described in answering question B5, you can click on Same Parcel as Well listed in Section B5. If you need to look back at your previous answer, use the drop-down menu at the bottom or click Previous. Remember, if you share with a group, your group should file together using Part C. If your home is on a different parcel than your well, you will need to describe the land where your home is on and provide a separate parcel number. Enter the street address of your home here. If you have a legal description for your home, enter it here. Click on the blue info bubbles for more information. If you have a very long legal description that you do not want to type in, you can upload a copy of it as a separate document when you get to Part D. When you're done, click Next. Remember, you will not be able to click on Next until you have added a parcel number. We have reached page B7. This is a blank page for you to add additional information that did not fit into any of the previous fields. For instance, if you need to add additional information such as more wells or more claimants and ran out of room on previous questions, you can add that information here. If you want the court or Department of Ecology to understand more about your water use, this is also a good place to add that information. This is optional, so if you don't have any further information to provide, you can leave it blank. When you are done, click Next. Once you have completed Part B and/or Part C describing your water use, it's time to finalize and sign your court claim form. In rare cases, an adjudication court claim form needs attachments. This is not the time to add evidence about your history of water use. This is only for information that you need to complete the answers you just entered on the guide and file form. For instance, if you ran out of room to type an answer before, you can add a document with additional text here. If you have a long legal description that you do not want to type in, you can upload a copy of that here. If you need to upload a legal description or other document needed to answer your court claim form, please do so now. Click Next. Let's pause here to review. You should have filled out Part A with your name or names as claimant, Part B and/or Part C describing your water use. As a reminder, the bar at the right has additional information about the form. This links to our instructions, webpage, phone number, and email. You can contact us at any time for help. Now it's time to sign your court claim form. Everyone who is listed in Part A as a claimant needs to sign the form. If you need to revisit Part A or any other part of the court claim form you already completed, use the drop-down menu at the bottom of the screen. Before you sign the form, indicate what part of the form you filled out. You can select Part B, Part C, or both. Next, read the declaration sentence with your name. This states that you declare under penalty of perjury that the facts are true. This means that they are true to the best of your knowledge and you did not include any wrong answers on purpose. This will become your sworn statement to the Superior Court, just like it is under oath. Then click on Number of Attachments to verify any pages you uploaded. You do not need to add any additional pages to this form. If you did not add pages, it will say this includes the attached 0 pages. Now you need to fill out the attestation. This is your sworn statement that your answers are correct. Add the city, state, and the date that you finished the form. By typing your name here, you have signed the document. Click on the info bubble for more help. If you entered more than one claimant in Part A, you will have additional spaces with the name of each claimant to sign. If you submit a court claim form for an organization, such as a business or group water system, sign your name and enter your title on the line. When you're done, click Next. Now you have completed all of the answers on your adjudication court claim form. Here is some information for you about what will happen with your form. Read it carefully. When you're done, click Proceed. You may need to wait a few moments for the next page to load. You have now completed the court claim form, but it has not been filed yet. This page is to review your final document before filing. Please pay close attention to these important last steps. Look at the box for party information to see who has completed the form. Click on the minus sign to expand or collapse if you need more information. To review your final document, you will need to download it. Click on the minus sign to expand the page. Look under Document Name and find your court claim form. It may be the only document listed. Then under Actions, click on Select and see the drop-down menu. Click on Download. Your court claim form will now download from your browser. Your downloaded document will be a file named courtclaimform.pdf. If you download more than one form, they will have numbers. Check now to see if your downloaded court claim form has a number and make a note of it. Now your full final document will load in a different window or a different tab. The full final document is in the PDF format. It might have a red and white icon that says PDF on it. If you're having trouble downloading your form, contact the adjudication hotline. If you cannot file online, you may print the form now and deliver it to the Whatcom County Superior Court in downtown Bellingham, Washington. By hand delivering, you will have multiple payment options in person. If you cannot hand deliver and want to mail your form, you will need to check with the post office to ensure that you are using adequate postage. You will also need a cashier's check or money order. If you're going to file by mail, we highly recommend you call us for assistance so that your mailed form does not get returned to you. When you are finished reviewing, click on Next. Now your guide and file screen will show a fees option. A $25 fee is required by the Superior Court, as well as a $1 processing fee. This is the lowest level of court fee, and there is no other cost for filing. If you're not able to pay the fee, there is an option for a fee waiver from the Superior Court. Additional information will be available about the fee waiver soon. When you're ready to pay, click on Pay Now. Now you are at the payment screen. You will need to enter a credit card or bank account number here. Guide and File is a secure process that will protect your banking information. You have the choice to create a reusable account or create a new one-time account. This is for payment information only. Select one and click on Continue. Now you are on the Tyler Technologies payment page. You can select a payment by credit card or by e-check. Make your selection now. Enter your cardholder or e-check information and then click on Continue. Read this carefully and click Continue. The next screen will ask you to confirm your payment information. Read this carefully and click Continue. After this, you will get a confirmation screen. Read this carefully. You can choose to print a confirmation or exit. Thank you for using Guide and File. Odyssey Guide and File is a product of Tyler Technologies. This video is presented by the Department of Ecology.